The summer of 1974. It was a time when the streets were alive with the vibrant energy of a nation in transition. The air was thick with the scent of change, and the promise of a new era was palpable. America was grooving to disco, grappling with Watergate, and finding solace in the rhythm of the dance floor. The nation was captivated by the scandal that had rocked the very foundations of its government, yet life went on, with people seeking joy in the midst of uncertainty. But beneath the surface, a storm of violence was brewing, one that would soon shatter the fragile peace. Ominous clouds gathered on the horizon, signaling the arrival of a darkness that few could have anticipated. Paul John Knowles, a man as charming as he was cunning, embarked on a chilling journey that would leave a trail of blood and heartbreak stretching from coast to coast. His path was marked by a series of brutal crimes that would forever etch his name into the annals of American criminal history. His weapon of choice wasn't a gun or a knife, but an arsenal of manipulation, masked by a disarming smile and a silver tongue. Knowles had an uncanny ability to win the trust of his victims, only to betray them in the most horrific ways imaginable. Knowles wasn't just a killer, he was a collector of souls, extinguishing lives as casually as one might discard a cigarette. Each life he took was another notch in his twisted tally, a grim reminder of his insatiable thirst for control and power. The nation watched in horror as the details of his crimes emerged, each more shocking than the last. Communities were left reeling, struggling to comprehend the magnitude of the terror that had been unleashed upon them. This is the story of the Casanova Killer, a man whose charm and charisma masked a heart of darkness. His reign of terror would leave an indelible mark on the nation, a chilling reminder of the evil that can lurk behind even the most beguiling of facades. Born in Florida, Knowles's early life was a rap sheet waiting to happen. Petty theft blossomed into armed robbery, landing him behind bars before his 21st birthday. It was in prison that he honed his skills of deception, learning to read people, to pinpoint their weaknesses and exploit them for his gain. He had a knack for blending in, appearing harmless, even charming. This made him the ultimate predator, disarming his victims with a smile before robbing them of their valuables and tragically often their lives. Little did they know beneath the veneer of normalcy lurked a heart of ice. Knowles's cross-country killing spree began with a fateful encounter in San Francisco, a bar fight that escalated to cold-blooded murder. It was a seemingly ordinary night that turned into a nightmare, marking the beginning of a terrifying journey. The bar, filled with the sounds of clinking glasses and murmured conversations, suddenly erupted into chaos. Knowles, with a cold, calculated demeanor, struck his first victim with a ferocity that shocked everyone present. It was the first dark brushstroke on a canvas of carnage that would span multiple states. From California to Florida, his path was marked by blood and fear. Each state he crossed added another chapter to his gruesome saga, leaving behind a trail of shattered lives and grieving families. The red line on the map grew longer, a visual representation of his relentless drive to spread terror. His victims were as diverse as the license plates on the highways he haunted. He prowled the roads, a predator in search of prey, blending into the everyday hustle and bustle of American life. The highways, once symbols of freedom and adventure, became his hunting grounds. Each car he passed, each face he saw was a potential target. Men, women, young, old, Knowles showed no preference, no mercy. His victims ranged from innocent children to elderly individuals, each one a testament to his indiscriminate cruelty. The 1970s fashion and settings, now tinged with a sense of dread, painted a stark contrast to the horror he inflicted. No one was safe from his wrath, and the randomness of his attacks only heightened the fear. His methods were brutal, intimate, and chillingly devoid of remorse. He used whatever means were at his disposal: knives, guns, even his bare hands. The crime scenes bore the marks of intense struggles with bloodstains and signs of violence, telling the story of his savagery. Each act of violence was a personal statement, a demonstration of his complete lack of empathy. He seemed to relish the act of control, the power he wielded over life and death. His eyes, cold and devoid of emotion, reflected a chilling determination. To him, each victim was not just a life to be taken, but a symbol of his dominance. The fear he instilled was as much a part of his satisfaction as the act of killing itself. For Knowles, each victim was another gruesome trophy in his twisted game of dominance. He collected personal items from his victims, mementos of his horrific deeds. These trophies were more than just souvenirs, they were symbols of his power and control. each item, each photograph, was a reminder of the lives he had destroyed and the terror he had spread. His collection grew with each new victim, a macabre testament to his reign of terror. There was a chilling randomness to Knowles's crimes. A hitchhiker picked up on a lonely road, a family enjoying a quiet evening at home, a young couple seeking adventure, all became pawns in his deadly game. He would often gain his victims' trust before he brutally ended their lives. He might share a meal, engage in conversation, even feign friendship, all the while plotting their demise. This chilling ability to compartmentalize, to separate his outward charm from his inward depravity, was perhaps his most terrifying attribute. As Knowles's body count rose, so did his notoriety. Law enforcement agencies across the country were on high alert, desperate to catch the man dubbed the Casanova Killer by a sensationalist media. Finally, in November 1974, after a tense standoff in a Georgia roadblock, Knowles was apprehended. The smirk that had so often been his shield crumbled, revealing a flicker of fear in his eyes. He was caught, and the game for once was not in his favor. What followed was a series of chilling confessions. Knowles, perhaps seeking a twisted form of notoriety, agreed to lead authorities to the graves of his victims. He spun tales of his crimes in detail, his voice devoid of remorse, even laced with a disconcerting hint of pride. These confessions, captured on audio tape, offered a disturbing glimpse into the mind of a killer. His words painted a horrifying picture, one that would forever be seared into the annals of criminal history. The wheels of justice, though sometimes slow, eventually grind to a halt. Knowles was tried and convicted for his crimes, receiving multiple life sentences. The judge, visibly shaken by the details of the case, declared that Knowles deserved no part in civilized society. The court's decision offered a sliver of solace to the families of the victims, but the true weight of justice would be forever marred by the killer's final act of defiance. In December 1977, Knowles, desperate for a taste of freedom, attempted to escape custody. Armed with a smuggled gun and fueled by desperation, he made a daring bid for freedom. His plan, however, was thwarted by a swift and decisive response from authorities. Knowles was shot and killed during the escape attempt, his life ending as abruptly and violently as those he had taken. The Casanova Killer's reign of terror had ended, but the scars he left on the national psyche lingered. His crime served as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath a charming facade, of the vulnerability of innocence in the face of evil. Families grappled with unimaginable loss, left to pick up the shattered pieces of their lives. The nation, still reeling from a decade of social and political upheaval, was left to ponder the unsettling question: how could someone commit such atrocities? Today, Paul John Knowles is remembered as one of America's most chilling serial killers. His story continues to fascinate and horrify, serving as a grim reminder of the fragility of life and the depths of human depravity. His case remains a subject of true crime documentaries, books, and podcasts, each attempting to unravel the enigma of a man driven by a seemingly insatiable thirst for control and destruction. Though decades have passed since Knowles's reign of terror, his case continues to resonate. The chilling memories of his actions still linger in the minds of those who lived through that dark period. His story is not just a tale of crime, but a complex narrative that intertwines with the very fabric of our society. It serves as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance, of trusting our instincts, and of the fragility of life. Each step we take in our daily lives, each decision we make can have profound consequences. The case of Knowles teaches us that we must always be aware of our surroundings and the people we interact with. It also underscores the importance of understanding the psychology of such individuals, delving deep into the minds of those who commit such heinous acts. By studying their behaviors, their thought processes, and their motivations, we can hope to identify patterns that might help prevent future tragedies. Recognizing the warning signs is crucial. Often there are subtle indicators that something is amiss, that a person might be on the brink of committing an unspeakable act. These signs can manifest in various ways, from changes in behavior to expressions of dark thoughts. And it is not just the responsibility of law enforcement. Communities play a vital role in this vigilance. By fostering a sense of unity and mutual care, we can create environments where potential threats are identified early and interventions can be made. Yet despite the passage of time and the countless hours spent analyzing his crimes, some questions remain. The enigma of Knowles's mind continues to baffle experts and laypeople alike. What were the exact triggers that led him down such a dark path? What drove Knowles to commit such horrific acts? Was it a moment of madness, a series of unfortunate events, or something more sinister and deeply rooted in his psyche? Were there factors in his past, his upbringing, that could have hinted at his future actions? Did his environment shape him into the monster he became? Or was it an inherent darkness within him? Or was it a combination of both nature and nurture that led to his descent into darkness? These are the questions that experts continue to grapple with, hoping to find answers that might prevent future tragedies. Could there have been interventions that might have prevented his actions? Were there missed opportunities where someone could have stepped in and changed the course of his life? These are questions that continue to haunt us, reminding us of the complexities of the human mind and the unpredictable nature of evil. Each unanswered question is a reminder of the work that still needs to be done in understanding and preventing such horrors. Reminding us that even in the face of evil, there are lessons to be learned, lessons about human nature, about the importance of community, and about the need for constant vigilance. There are some mysteries that may never be fully understood, but in our quest for answers we find purpose, we find hope, and we find the strength to continue striving for a safer, more understanding